Hi everyone, I thought I would come on today to do a really quick video about the movie coming out tomorrow, Disclosure Day. I have been so excited to see it. I was going to go by myself, grab my licorice and my water and head over to the nearest theater, but things have changed up, so plans change and I'm going to be doing something else. So that being said, I felt inspired to come on to talk to you about my two extraterrestrial experiences. But in order to do that, I want to backtrack and tell you a little bit about my background. So I studied nursing. I am a registered nurse by background. Then I specialized in critical care, worked in ICU and emergency, and eventually became so burnt out with the shift work and all that came with it that I decided to switch careers. So ended up in the pharmaceutical industry, but that is where I met my mentor. And he became a person who, unbeknownst to me, was going to trigger or activate a spiritual awakening. So something happened around this time that ultimately led me to the books. I started reading everything, paying attention to everything around me, trying to understand signs, symbols, and synchronicities. And that went on for quite some time. And really, from that point to now, I've ended up having what amounts to be almost 20 years of supernatural metaphysical experiences. I ended up writing about them in my book titled Fruit Fly Intelligence. The back cover reviewer compared it to The Secret, and the foreword was written by a cardiac surgeon. So it's a real blend of science meets spirituality. So there's a lot of information, photos, testimonials in this book. And I went on to be interviewed on NBC in California in 2024. So you can check that out here on my YouTube channel. So fast forward to about 2018, I started having other bizarre things, and one of them was this ability to do what I refer to as energy zaps. So I studied Reiki level 1 and 2, but never used it. So I decided instead to connect with whom I pray to, and I started to do these really quick zaps, which seemed to be most effective with reducing pain. So that's what happened with the cardiac surgeon. I worked with my guides. They worked on his hip. They flashed blue light, and the next day he came to me and he said, you know, Paula, I ended up getting about 85% less pain. So shocker, couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. He went on to write the foreword of my book. But I want to talk about this time as well, because it was around this time that I moved into a condo. And in the chapter of my book, chapter 9, small box, big messages, I had a lot of weird stuff happening. Some pleasant, some quite unpleasant, talking about sci-fi kind of stuff. But two things that happened were these unexpected experiences with extraterrestrials. So the first one, I saw this extraterrestrial in my mind's eye. So I was alone, I was drifting off to sleep, and all of a sudden I could see this being slip up, like as if he's coming from like an animated PowerPoint, coming up to look right at me, and I knew that he knew that I could see him. So he had that, I guess, small gray kind of look, you know, very distinct shaped face, large saucer eyes, small mouth, the whole bit. I describe it in my book. I would say the skin was bluish, maybe gray, maybe that's what it was. It all happened so fast. And I could see it in my mind's eye, this being. I wanted to call him a he. And there was a very peaceful, calm presence. There was zero fear. He slipped in and he's gone. And I was stunned, tried to process it, couldn't believe it was happening, kind of didn't buy it, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, whatever, Paula. Until it happened again. Same location, living in a condo. And only this time I woke at like 2-ish in the morning, whatever, to head to the bathroom, and I looked, again, I was alone. I looked over to my right and I could see 3 beings with my physical eyes this time. And they looked to be the same species of this one that popped up, but they had more of a distinct kind of holographic green hue glow to them. And thankfully they were the right corner of my bed, but they were going down as if there were 3 of them, as if they were taking an escalator down. So needless to say, I did not get out of my bed. My bladder had to wait, but those were my two experiences that I recall. So one with my third eye, or with my eyes closed, and the second one with my physical eyes. And I know that there's a lot going on my algorithm, the certain programs that I listen to. There's a lot on alien, extraterrestrial, UFO kind of experiences. I'm into NDEs, although I haven't had an NDE and I'm not looking to have one. This 20-year experience felt like an NDE because I basically awoke as a psychic medium, energy channeler, and now the author of this book. I'm planning to do my first talk at the University of Alberta at the end of this year. And yeah, just really excited. My takeaway, I don't feel fear. I do believe there is good, bad, and everything in between. And I believe that they are really fractals of source energy. That is just my takeaway. I've heard all kinds of negative things in terms of different types of beings. Thankfully, I didn't have that experience, and I'm really excited about what's to come. So I don't feel fear. Come on this journey with me. Tell me in the comments about what you have experienced so far, maybe some of your fears. Maybe I can find out from spirit, maybe do some channeling to give you some information that way. Hope you subscribe and like and share my videos. You will see 2 short videos. Since I've been in this home, I've had encounters with orbs, and one of them was actually interacting with it. It's pretty wild. Anyway, wish you well. Enjoy Disclosure Day. Stay connected. Bye for now.